the newest member of the Atlanta Hawks, CJ McCollum. But what are the Hawks actually up to? Because more moves are coming as a report reveals that the Atlanta Hawks are not done. And the Hawks have a basketball game today as well, going against the Denver Nuggets. It just makes you wonder what all Onsi Saleh has going on, has up here in the mind. He wants to keep everything being versatile and having that optionality. But we're going to see what happens in this report. I got some stuff for you. Rumors are swirling. Atlanta has been on fire. But go ahead and take off those shoes and leave on those socks because I got a report to get into with you guys. It's going to be lovely. New reports are out, and I'm about to get into it right now. But before I do, you already know, make sure you guys are downloading Kalshi. Before we get into all the news today, this video is brought to you by Kalshi. When you download Kalshi using the link in the description, make sure that you're putting in Digest NBA, and you'll get 20 when you trade your first 100. Now, as for Kalshi, it's the largest prediction market in the U.S., and on their platform, you can trade yes or no on real life sporting events, elections, news, pretty much everything. And it doesn't matter because all across the country, across California, Texas, Georgia, it doesn't matter. Kalshi is here for you. As far as myself with the NFL playoffs upon us, I like to look at the market, and the Green Bay Packers versus Chicago Bears are so close. But if you go with the Chicago Bears, you possibly be able to put more money into your pocket. And if that's not what you like a little bit more risk, well, the Carolina Panthers have an 18% chance of defeating the Los Angeles Rams. If you go with the Panthers and they defeat them, you will definitely put more money in your pocket. It's just another way to use your genuinely sports knowledge and your news knowledge to get close positions wherever you want. Make sure you're downloading Kalshi using the link in the description, and make sure that you're putting in Digest NBA again to get a $20 bonus. And thank you so much to Kalshi for sponsoring this video. Now let's get back to the news. Yes. So, gotta get into this. You know what, Hawks fans? I'm gonna switch it up a little bit. I was gonna start with CJ, but let me finish off some unfinished business, if you will. Anthony Davis, because the reports are coming from the same guy, and it's coming from a journalist down for the Dallas Hoops Journal, a Grant Asef, and he has came out and said that he's down there close to Dallas, so just keep that in mind. But he has said what I've already said yesterday. Anthony Davis is looking for the max. If you trade for Anthony Davis, you're going to have to give him a max contract. That's what he's seeking. Okay, so he already has, yes, the contract that he has now. But just like how I said about how Trae Young could rip up that final year of his contract for the 49 mil and immediately sign a 3-year, $157 million deal, Anthony Davis is looking for a max deal. Now, we don't have exactly like the numbers that he's seeking, but regardless, Anthony Davis is looking to get paid, guys. So we have to keep that in mind when we're talking about trying to go after a guy like AD. Again, we have the cap space, yes, and there's so many different reports going on, but Dallas is interested in an extension and wouldn't mind trying to get him that. But more so, he's looking for a completely new deal. He's looking for a completely new deal. And it doesn't matter if it's coming from the Raptors. It doesn't matter if it's coming from the Hawks. At the end of the day, AD wants to get paid. So keep that in mind, Hawks fans. Now, let's get to the main event of this whole video. And that is CJ McCollum. Welcome to Atlanta, sir. But the whole point about behind this video about CJ McCollum is reports are out that apparently the Atlanta Hawks are interested in extending CJ McCollum. Yes, extending CJ McCollum. Let's get into some optics about CJ McCollum real quick. For those of you, y'all may have seen this before, but we got to talk about it. CJ McCollum in 30 minutes, starting for the Washington Wizards this season, he has 18.6 points, 3.5 rebounds, 3.6 assists, but you come down to those shooting splits to where it's 44% from the field, 39% from three, shooting 46% from the corner threes, and 65% when the ball is assisted to him and he's hitting threes. Also, on all shot of threes, but he also shoots in the corner three for 40%. 34 years of age, yes, 6'3", so he's still like more so of a smaller guard, but he still has some size to him. And CJ has been a guy that really never really just hit free agency like that. He's always signing some type of extension and staying with the group and then possibly just gets moved. Now, again, this is going to be interesting because he's going to be a free agent at the end of this season, but potentially could sign a short-term deal. What's the terms of the deal? Atlanta is thinking about a 1-year extension worth about $20 million. So he definitely would be on that 1-year mercenary type. Let's see how you can help the roster type deal. Now, one thing about it, guys, you see the shooting splits again, you see everything, but there's another thing and another element to this. The Atlanta Hawks view CJ McCollum as somebody who can space the floor, somebody who can, get up his own shot, create his own shot, and possibly be able to help the Atlanta Hawks. He can be a complimentary ball handler, and again, just him being aside with that young core, he's a veteran, he can pick his spots, and he can be able to put the ball in the basket. The team also likes his ability to play both on ball and off ball, something that we wanted Trae Young to do. But CJ McCollum has been doing that his whole career. I do have to give him at least that much credit. And starting with the Wizards, again, he started 35 games for the Wizards, averaging that same totals that I just shown you, and 30.9 minutes per game. So this was his first season with Washington after being traded from New Orleans. Now, the potential one-time extension with McCollum would allow the Hawks to maintain the long-term flexibility financially and theoretically improve their chances to stay competitive in a short term. Now, guys, I would love to know how y'all feel about CJ McCollum possibly being extended by the Atlanta Hawks. Honestly, it kind of would make sense. It would make you feel a little bit better about the trade for those who feel like we got fleeced. We did. But, at the same time, it's like you possibly could have a guy like Chris Burke, who is going to be that three-point guy. Again, Luke Kennard is not staying. Even if he makes it to the end of the season, he's still not staying. But CJ McCollum, you possibly could have that veteran, maybe like a Lou Will type deal. Remember when we had Rondo, and then we flipped him for Lou Will type, and then just having Solo. Remember when we had Tony Snell. Again, I'm thinking back on that 2021 roster. It wasn't like a group of all-stars. It just was a group of team guys that was able to come together, a mix of young guys and veterans, and able to mix together and go on a run. That's all it was. So now the Atlanta Hawks, at the end of the day, CJ McCollum is not Portland CJ McCollum. He's not the same, but he can still shoot the ball. He can still play. And if he can stay healthy, he possibly can help the Atlanta Hawks. It's going to be interesting to see where does CJ McCollum fall on the roster. As in, is he going to be a starter? Because, again, another secondary ball handler, but also somebody that can shoot the ball. Or will he be coming off of the bench? My personal opinion, what I think is going to happen, not what I want, but what I think is going to happen, CJ might start. It is either going to be the point guard role or the two guard role. So regardless, either I'm looking at it as, and I'm talking about once he gets acclimated, because he's a game time decision. I don't expect him to play tonight, really, him or Chris Burt. It's probably going to be in the next game, I would assume, so everything can get acclimated. No point in just trying to rush those guys on the court. So I'm assuming that either Nikhil is going to the bench, or I'm assuming that Dyson is going to the bench because again, the offensive thing. But that's what I'm thinking. But what I want to happen is I want CJ to come off the bench and provide a spark to the second unit. And I mean, Dyson, I understand he's a little offensively challenged right now, especially from the 3 point line. Of course, you know he does his damage in the painted area, but from the 3 point line, he is a little offensively challenged there. So it's like, okay, I still want his defense in the starting lineup. And then if you have him and Nikhil Alexander Walker in that starting lineup, that could just be your theme. But if you want Nikhil to go back to the bench and just do everything that he's doing off the bench, you can have that option. Or you can have CJ coming off, being like that veteran and being able to go after the second unit of the opposing team too. So it's going to be interesting to see what Quin Snyder does. I'm thinking they may try to see if CJ could start just because he did in Washington. And in 35 games, like I said, we'll see. It's going to be interesting. I don't think it happens at first, though, if it does, because I'm just thinking about mixing up and confusing the camaraderie and the chemistry. But regardless, guys, we also have a game. Shout out to Cauchy, by the way. But we also have a game. The Denver Nuggets and the Atlanta Hawks. We let them off the hook the last time we seen them in Atlanta, guys. We let them off the hook. We had them. It was right there, and we lost that game by one. Joker had 40 that night. Nikhil Alexander Walker had 30 that night. We had them on the ropes. Actually, we had them, and they came back from the lead that we had on them. So they were able to walk us down and able to win that game by one. This game is a little different. This game should be different. The Atlanta Hawks are more healthy right now than the Denver Nuggets. Let's talk about the last 5 games. The Atlanta Hawks, of course, at 117 to 100 win over the New Orleans Pelicans. Of course, we lost back to back to those doggone Raptors. And then, we was able to win against the New York Knicks. They were undermanned, but hey, you play who you play. You got that win. And then, of course, to end the year and end that 7-game losing streak, the Hawks was able to take down the Minnesota Timberwolves. As for the Denver Nuggets, they are looking similar to the Atlanta Hawks as far as both teams have won 3 out of their last 5. Now, as far as with Denver, they've won their last 2, 125 to 124 versus the Sixers, and a 114 to 110 win versus the Celtics. Now, again, like I was talking about in that previous matchup, it was a knockdown, drag 'em out. This game right here shouldn't be as crazy. The Atlanta Hawks are going to be in their white uniforms tonight, and Denver is going to be in the blue. Also, projected starters are going to be Nikhil Alexander Walker, also Dyson Daniels, Jalen Johnson, Zaccharie Risacher, and Onyeka Okongwu. For the Nuggets, who are missing not only Nikola Jokic, but also they're missing Jonas Valanciunas. So these guys are missing both of their bigs. This is an opportunity for the Atlanta Hawks to take care of business and, hey, man, kick a team while they're down, because their starting unit projection is Jamal Murray. You know what he can do. Christian Brown, he just really was coming back pretty good. I know he had missed most of the season, but he's still a guy that's capable, can knock down shots. Peyton Watson, Darren Holmes II, and also Spencer Jones. So they don't even necessarily have a guy that's a natural center, even in tonight's lineup. Atlanta Hawks, take advantage, get yourself another win. We need as many as we can get. As far as injury reports right now, game time decisions on Corey Crispert and also CJ McCollum. Of course, Dante, he is out for the remainder of the season with the torn ACL. So we'll see what happens with that. As far as guys being questionable tonight for The Denver Nuggets, you have Tamar Bates. He's out. But Christian Brown is still a game time decision with the ankle. Bruce Brown, game time decision with the knee. Aaron Gordon, game time decision with the hamstring. And of course, Cam Johnson out with the knee, as well as Nikola Jokic with the hyperextension, as well as Jonas Valanciunas. So these guys are beat up. They are beat up, okay? And even game time decision for Jamal Murray because he has an ankle as well. So those guys are beat up, y'all. Okay? Atlanta Hawks, go out and do what you do. Make sure that you pick up this win because you need that. And ultimately, guys, let's go Hawks. Let's pick up this win. Let's go ahead and stack some wins. Let's try to climb up into the Eastern Conference. Right now, we are the 9th seed, and we have some work to do. But until next time, guys, peace and blessings to you all, and to you all, I'll holla.